What's up, guys? Welcome to another video to motivational gaming. Now, if y'all have seen my old videos, I talk about the average or the 5 people you hang out with. So today I got a special guest. His name is Giovanni. He's a good friend of mine, and he's gonna be talking about leadership. So Giovanni, please give us some of your wisdom.
Bet. Alrighty then, let's do it to it, guys. Let's do it to it.
There it is.
So, as my homeboy just proclaimed, my name is Giovanni Ortega. Hello everybody, how's everyone doing? Hopefully y'all can hear me. That's the main aspect of this. If you can't hear me, it's kind of sad. Cause it kind of defeats the whole purpose of me talking right now. But if you can hear me, awesome, wonderful. I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad to be here in Mark's humble abode right now. Invited me here to check out this game, Fortnite, as well. It's the first time I'm going to be playing this game. We'll see how it goes. I did to give me a little rundown. I'm basically an expert now. Started playing about 20 minutes of it, and yeah, I know the ins and outs and everything. I basically got everything on lock, so we'll see how everything works. About to finish something up real quick. So let's see. Here we go. So Mike invited me here today. He wanted me to talk about something called leadership. Now, whenever it comes to leadership, it's ooh, what happened here?
Next one's looking tough. You can do it.
They tried to kill me. You have to stop it.
So when it comes to leadership,
Found the next one.
there's many different things that comes to mind. What it involves, what characteristics leadership comes with, the people we think about that we see around our daily lives as leaders, different aspects of life that we like to think about that all follows around leadership. So I've been listening to a lot of John C. Maxwell as of lately, and if you never listened to this gentleman, he's the #1 thought in leadership. If you want to learn how to become a leader, be a leader in any way, shape, or form, in any action, in any type of form of life, whether it be work or personal life or relationship, you want to go to this individual and learn from him. Now, one thing he does talk about is the 5 levels of leadership, and I'm going to be touching on that, going over the 5 levels of leadership that he goes over, and going in depth in some of them and breaking them down just a little bit. So the first level of leadership, as he proclaims, is known as the level of position. Now, whenever you think of a level of position, really he means that if you're in the corporate world or basically anywhere in a job, really, of course you have your employees, and then you'll have your team leads, and then your managers and supervisors and project managers, and you have all these different titles, vice president, you have all these different titles. And basically what it is just a title. Nothing really all too special about it. It's just a title. And the only reason the people around you follow this individual is because of their position. So when it comes to position, there's not really much respect that comes with it. The people that are around you are only following you because they want to get a paycheck in the end, which I think, of course, it doesn't really motivate anyone to go far beyond what they're capable. They're only doing what is needed, and that's it. So when it comes to position, I want you to think about people that you've worked with or worked around in your current workforce or in your last job or whatever. What leaders have you been around that you haven't necessarily been a fan of, but the only reason you listen to them is because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have a paycheck, you wouldn't have a job. Those things are kind of important in this day and age, so you want to keep those jobs, those positions that you have right now, so that sooner or later you can make more in life. These are the only reasons you're following this individual. Now, there's some key characteristics that do make a leader even better than what they are. One of the things that I think is very critical about a leadership, about being a leader, about being a good leader at least, to be a good leader, I think first you have to be a great follower. And what exactly does that mean? Well, how do you expect anyone to follow you if you yourself don't know how to follow someone else.
Get that in
You
canvas.
see, every leader, no matter where they were in life, have followed someone else's footsteps, have studied someone else's actions and their habits on, so they can better learn on where they want to go. So, to be a good leader, you first must be a great follower. So, from this position level, which is this is the level of your current, however high in the hierarchy of work you are, which no one really holds into high respect, they only listen because of your position. The next level is relational. Now, a relational leader is any leader that first off listens well. See, most of these leaders, they get their knowledge, they listen to what the crowd is saying. They try to answer their questions and try to figure out what is it that they want. They're not just focusing on themselves. They're not big-headed and try to listen to their own advice. They want to listen to the advice of others, especially the people that work under them. Okay, they just don't want to.
Get ready.
They don't want to seem like only what they say goes. They want to make sure that they're heard, that everyone is heard. It makes things a little bit easier. They observe the actions of everyone else. They observe on how people react or respond to a situation. Now, when I say react or respond to a situation, I mean something very specific. There's a big difference from reacting and responding. What I feel of reacting and responding is, Zig Ziglar talks about the difference between reacting and responding. I want you to imagine that you go to, let's say, the doctor. Oh, snap, look at that mess. That's a new feature for me. I want to say you're at the doctor. Let's say the doctor prescribes you a certain medication for whatever ailment that you have, and you come back about a week later. You go to the doctor says, Mr. John Doe, your body's reacting to the medication. We got to change your dosage or change the medication up. You're not having a good reaction right now. So as you can see, that's a bit of a negative response. Okay? Or you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you, hey, Mr. John Doe, your body's responding well to the medication. Let's go ahead and keep you going, and I'll see you back in the next couple of weeks. So see, there's a big difference on reacting and responding. I'm getting jumped right now. Okay? You want to learn how to respond rather than react in many situations. I think that's very critical for a leader. Sad day I died. Okay? So, learning the difference between reacting and responding. Okay? More often than not, in what I do in my daily lives, I try to react to every type of situation that comes my way. I do my best to react to the situation. I do my best to respond to the situation, then react. You see, the reason why this is critical is because if you have nothing but people that are spreading around gossip and then causing drama, and then other people who just come along and pour a bunch of gasoline onto the fire, well, those are not necessarily people that you want to continue having around the team. Or you want to make sure that you notify individuals, make sure you make them aware of their mistakes so we can better improve. So leaders listen well, they observe, and they learn. They learn about everyone that's around them, what their likes and dislikes are, what they're capable of,
Another big fight.
stuff
Here
like
we go.
that. You want to make sure that they're constantly learning. You also want to learn on how to become a better leader for your team as well. You see, if you're never growing, you're dying. You know, there is no coasting in life. You're either growing and dying, kind of like your heartbeat. You have ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. If your heartbeat flatlines, well, you're basically dead, just like your life. If you don't have ups and downs in it, you might as well be dead because you ain't having anything of benefit happening to you, whether it be good or bad. All outcomes can be beneficial to you. It's all that matters is how you see it. Okay? So that's level 2, relational. You have to be a relational leader.
Nope.
Level 3. Level 3 is, as John C. Maxwell talks about, is production. Okay? It's how productive of a leader you can. This is whenever you start affecting the bottom line of the company. Whenever you start bringing in more income, more business. Okay? Now, one of the big things about this is causing momentum. See, a great thing for a business, for any job, is to create momentum. Let me get this. Dang, I'm out of ammo. To create momentum, 80% of the problems that any leader has in the workforce can and could be solved by just having a bunch of momentum. Let me put it into perspective for you. Let's say you have a train, okay? You have a train, and the train's going around 50 miles an hour, and there was let's say a 4'6" wall, brick wall in front of you. Now, this train's pretty heavy, weighs a couple of tons, and easily smashes through a 4-foot brick wall. Now you take that same train, it's at a dead stop, and you put a 1-inch block in front of it.
2 minutes before I have to pull you out.
No matter how hard that train goes, it ain't gonna go anywhere. Just because of that 1-inch block. You have no momentum. It's not gonna be able to move. So by producing enough momentum with you and your team, helps to bring along more production, helps solve a lot of problems, a lot of big problems too. A lot of the times whenever there's problems going around, if you just had a little bit of momentum going for you, you'd blow through the problem without even worrying about whatever the outcome would be if you didn't have any momentum. So momentum is actually a big aspect of being a level 3 leader, causing a lot of production, making sure that everyone's constantly moving, constantly going forward, and not slowing down. If you slow down, you lose. You know, you're not going to hit your goal as quickly as you would like. So it's very critical that you keep those things in mind. Now, a level 4 leader. Now, this is my favorite part. As far as leadership, this is probably one of the best parts of leadership right here. And whenever you can grasp a level 4 leadership, that's whenever things really start moving up for you. See, level 4 leadership, it goes into development. Not just any kind of development, but developing people. People development. And the way you do that is in 4 steps.
Here it comes. 30 seconds left.
Oh, before we get to those steps, let's say, as far as development goes, you have to know how to recruit well. So being able to see good qualities, not only the good qualities, but even the not so beneficial qualities of an individual, and recruit them based on what they're able to bring to the table, what they're able to do for the team. I'll tell you this much, there was a coach, I can't remember exactly, put my name on what his name is right now. There's a coach, he said that, you know,
Check out your map.
I have bad players and I have good players, but I can coach the good players a lot more easily. So whenever you're building your team together, whenever you're bringing in certain type of people, you want to make sure that whoever you are bringing in, whoever you are recruiting, is going to be beneficial. That they're going to help the bottom line. They're going to speed things along. They're going to, you know, help create better momentum, and that's very critical to being able to develop people. On top of being able to figure out what they do well, you got to know where to put them so they can do what they do well in the correct place. You're not going to put a surgeon in an auto mechanic shop, and that ain't going to work out right, okay? So you got to figure out where exactly does this person fit in the whole system of things, and as far as where they work well with the team, and also who they work well with as well. What type of people do they connect with? That's also pretty good to think about as well. And then the last thing is equipping them well. Now, how do you equip someone? You train them. So I'm going to give you a few steps on training someone, because that's the whole point of developing an individual, is training. Now, step 1 is first, you do it.
Let's get those supplies to
I'll use
Lars.
myself. I do it. Let's say I'm training someone else. First step is I do it. I can't train someone on something I haven't done myself. How am I going to train someone on doing an oil change if they themselves have, if I myself have never done an oil change? It's not going to work out. So first, I do it. Secondly, step 2 is I do it, and you're with me. So not only am I doing the oil change, you're with me doing the oil change as well. You're watching what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, or whatever you're doing in life. You see, the thing is that the great thing about being a leader is that not being ashamed of your mistakes and taking advantage of the mistakes that you do make in life. You see, if nothing else that you learn from this, I'm going to give you this little tidbit, and I think it's very critical. I think it's very beneficial altogether. Jim Rohn, who's another individual that I listen to a lot, is another one of my mentors. He explains that if there was a book out there, and basically in this day and age, if there's a book, an audio tape, a video on YouTube that you could watch that could save you 3, 4, 5, 10 years of your life of pain and torture, why wouldn't you read that book, or why wouldn't you watch that video? Why wouldn't you go to that training? You see, you not only need to learn from people what they've done right, you got to learn from what they've done wrong as well. You got to learn from the mistakes. I think that's where a lot of the gold comes from. See, if we never make mistakes, then everything was perfect, then there'd be nothing to learn. I think that's the whole point of failure, in a sense. Of course, I never failed in anything in my life. I just successfully figure out what did not work. And if I'm able to translate that over to someone so they can know how to successfully not do things at work, that'd be great. So they do it with me. They train on with me. They learn from my mistakes as well as from my successes. I think you learn more from your mistakes than anything else. So the next step 3, is that now you do it. Okay, you've seen me do it. Now I want to watch you do it.
Let's launch that
I'll
van.
correct you from time to time. I'll check to see where you slipped up a little bit, or where you could have been a little bit faster, a little bit more effective. But I'm not gonna be there to necessarily hold your hand. Whenever you're done, I'll critique you. We'll make some adjustments. You know, that's basically it. I'm gonna let you do it. Step 4 now is, well, you just do it. You don't need me no more. You don't need my help. You've got it from here on out. There's no need for any type of assistance. You've got it. And now, John C. Maxwell, he talks about, you know, most people would think that this is where you want to stop. Like, step 4, okay, I know how to do it now. There's nothing else I need to work on. Well, no, you're wrong, because there's actually one more. And step 5 is, you do it, and you do it with someone else. You see, you're not an effective leader, so you can train someone on how to train someone else. You see, being able to duplicate yourself and show people how not just to be a better them, but to be better than you is great. I take so much pride whenever I'm able to. I teach a lot. I teach robotics, and whenever I'm teaching my students a certain build, or I get super excited whenever they finally learn how to finally build a robot, but then build it better than I was building the robot. Build it faster than I could build a robot. Or be able to program the bot in a way that I didn't think about. You see, whenever they learn from the mistakes that you made, they're able to make better adjustments. They're able to make better judgments. And that's the beauty of being a leader. Whenever you finally take someone under your wing and you're able to mentor them to become a better you, it's an amazing feeling. And honestly, I think it's one of the greatest feelings when it comes to being a mentor. So the last level, that was level 4, which was people development. The last level is the pinnacle level. Now all this really means is that you haven't necessarily hit your peak, but you are at the pinnacle of where you are, you know. Now that does not mean that you stop learning. That does not mean you stop training or even stop working. You know, it's just a certain amount of respect. You know, you've done it so well for so long that people will absolutely just follow you, just because of your expertise, just because of how good you are at doing what you're doing. It's the pinnacle. Now, John C. Maxwell, he talked about me and Mark and another good friend of ours. We actually got to see John C. Maxwell in person and listen to him speak. I recently got to read his new book that he came out called No Limits. It's an amazing book. I absolutely recommend it. If you do ever get a chance to read it, please get it. And it's an amazing book. Of course, he's been doing motivational speaking and being a life coach for so many years now. And
Nope.
one thing that he was talking about, after doing it for so many years, he came to a point, before writing this book, before getting into writing this book, he came to a point of thinking that, you know, he reached his limits. You know, he's done all that he can do. He's shared all that he thinks he could share. You know, and what was funny about that is that this is an individual who's, you know, his whole life motivated people to be better than who they are, to constantly improve and to constantly make adjustments and keep doing more than what they're doing right now. Nope, I didn't want to do that. And you look at this man, and he's accomplished so much. He's written hundreds of books. Just on leadership alone, like I said, this man is the number one thought in leadership alone. You search him up, you talk about leadership, he is the number one guy you're going to bring up, you're going to find.
Can't.
Is this individual, what he does is amazing. And he got to a point to where he thought he was done, you know. He was, as the quote goes, you know, going to pass on the torch to someone else. And I didn't want to do that. I think it was his wife, or maybe one of his maybe one of his you know, right-hand man or whatever told him, you know, you still love what you're doing and you want to stop doing it. Why? And he took a hard look at himself. You know, he had to really think, why is he really stopping? Why does he think he doesn't have anything left? And he realized that he's had, I don't know, maybe I think 40 to 50 years worth of notes just sitting in his room, in his office. You know, mounds and mounds of paperwork, just full of ideas and quotes and things that we probably never we'll probably never know, because he realized that all that stuff was holding him back. He was using it as a safeguard, that if he were to never figure out anything else to do, if he couldn't come up with another quote or another idea, that he could come back to all those notes and find something that he written so many years ago. So, to not hold himself back, he threw out everything that he had, everything that he written, everything that he learned over the extent of his career. He just threw it all out. He didn't want anything holding him back, and he started all over. And he realized that he still had so much more to give. And of course, he came out with a new book called No Limits. Because again, it's an amazing book. And once you realize that you're never going to stop learning, that you're never going to stop growing, that you're always going to be trying to be bettering yourself and going after what's next, that
Hey, we just built that.
we get intruder. That you're gonna constantly want to be better. Oh snap! This wasn't explosive. Oh dang, we blew up our stuff. Sad day. That you're never gonna want to stop learning. You're never gonna want to stop growing. That you're gonna constantly be bettering yourself. You know, and that's the great thing about being at your pinnacle, is that now you get to teach others what you know and save them the time and hassle of learning and going through the torture of trying to figure it all by themselves. So that's basically it, guys. That's all I got for you. Leadership, again, there's 5 levels. Now I want you to think about, what level are you on? What have you reached thus far? Are you a leader in your own job or market? Do you follow a specific leader? Now, Mark said a couple of times, and you know, the people we all hang around, we all say it, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around most with. So who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are the individuals that you are putting around you? You know, are they making a difference for your life? Are they bringing you up or bringing you down? You know, these are leaders that you want to make sure that they're benefiting you and not you're just benefiting them. I'll say this: if you were the smartest person in your group, you need a new group. I make sure I'm not the smartest person. I mean, if you were the average of the 5 people you hang around most with, then if everyone in your group is negative, cynical, and you yourself are most likely going to be negative and cynical. I bet money if everyone in your group is broke, you're probably going to be the 6th person that's broke as well. And you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. Again, that's me, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Definitely an interesting game. I'll say this much about Fortnite. It's definitely an interesting concept. I kind of like it right now. It's interesting. I'll probably get into it a little while later. But I'll hand it back to Mark. Love y'all guys. As I end every single speech that I make, stay positive, stay motivated, guys. Most importantly, find your passion. Find what you want to go after in life. Find what you want to do and what makes you happy. If it doesn't make you happy, then you got to figure out what does. So you can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Giovanni Ortega, or on Instagram and Snapchat at Find Your Passion. So guys, there you go. Much love. Thank you.
Well, Giovanni, that was amazing. That was awesome. For all my viewers that'll be watching this video, if you want to become a leader, I hope y'all learned something today. Now, if there's more topics that y'all would like for us to talk about, just comment on the section, comments below. Please like this video. And please share these videos too. If you'd like to hear Giovanni more, please let me know. I think that's it. Good. What'd you think? That was good. Oh, stop.